So, sorry for that little interruption of me getting stuck in some screen. But anyways, back to the race. SVR Drax is in P2 now. Makiek leads, and P3 is Jamie James ahead of G-Force Pato. And Adam Massis Kai sits in P5. He's been overtaken by G-Force Pato, and Ira Ken's currently in P6 for Alfa Romeo. But Tarberg has fortunately fallen, and Dr. Me has retired in the pit lane. Tommy PLR is lagged out of the session, so does Tarberg. He's left the session too, unfortunately for him. Hopefully these guys can get back in. Infamous SMG is also still not back in the session. Yeah, I don't think he will be coming back. But we have yellows through sector 1, and that is for Kel? No. Oh, that's for Dr. Mees. Aston Martin retiring. But at the front, we have quite a close battle here between the Haas and the Mercedes driver of SVR Drax and Makiek. We haven't seen these two do much battle throughout the season so far, but it looks like we may be treated to some here in round 4. And Jamie James keeping good pace with these guys despite being on the harder compound of tyre. Behind him his teammates almost like 4.3 seconds off, so G-Force Pattern may need to pick up the pace. Adam Max's cars, unfortunately for him, already picked up a 3-second time penalty, and almost into the wall there as well. That would have been the icing on the cake, but it's Jean who spun coming out turn 18, and he now falls down to P16. So soft tyre gamble not really working out for the Ferrari driver, as Makiek in P1 is now picked up a 3-second time penalty, so that could be crucial towards the end of the race here, as he's now going to be closed in by SVR Drax down the straight. Let's see what the Haas driver can do. Can he do anything? Jean has binned it at turn 7 once again, and he's retired on the track again. Not sure if this is a penalty. The SVR Drax is going for a very, very, very early undercut here on the Mercedes in front of him. So not too sure if this will work out for him, but we'll have to wait and see, as G-Force Pato is now into P3, promoted by the pit stop of the Haas driver, as Iro Ken now is within the DRS range of the Alpine in front of him, as Mikel's spun out of turn 17 and 18. Now he's going to be under pressure from Passionfretta in towards turn 1. Can Red Bull make the move up into the top 10 and into the points paying positions? Yes, he can, making a nice maneuver to the inside of the Aston Martin. But at the moment, Makiek still leads us away. Is he going to respond to the undercut triggered by SVR Drax, or is he just going to carry on and try not to be too phased by it? But Makiek, Jean is left the session. Makiek is soon going to be closed in by Jamie James. He's interestingly weaving down the straight. I wonder if he's lost tire temperature already. I mean, it's quite overcast, so don't think the tire temps will be all that high, as Ira Ken found out at turn 17. Double lock up there, and almost straight into the wall, but he does have the chance to attack back down the inside and Cry in towards turn 1. That's exactly what he's going to do. The Finnish driver looking for the move up into the top 4, trying to get past Adam Matis-Clay and make up what time he has lost to two McLarens and Makiek in front. And Makiek at the moment not reacting to the undercut triggered by SVR Drax. He thinks he's safe for now. Mikel's into pit lane here on lap 10, already boxing off the hards. I wonder if he got damaged possibly. But SVR Drax, we're going to have to watch these lap times here, because he's soon going to be closing into a bit of traffic of Rogue Flash. And if Makiek has played this right, he could just avoid all the traffic and come out in front of both drivers. But we'll have to wait and see what Makiek is going to do. Over the remainder of the next few laps, the short time he has on these tyres. But Makiek is going to be going to stay out once again. So Jamie James, unfortunately for him, not able to get into the DRS range so far, but he does have some good pace at the moment, and he's definitely keeping the rest of the gap between him and his teammate. But Passion Jack has had a fairly quiet race so far in P12 for Ferrari. He won't be all too happy with his position at the moment, but there's still plenty of laps to come. It's Ferries in P14, and Rob Hunt is Mikel, but Makiek still leads us away at the front, and still leads this Miami race, which is not actually the sprint race this time, it is the full race. So all the normal points available for the drivers here: 25 for race winner, which is currently Makiek, 18 for P2, 15 for P3, 12 for P4, 10 for P5, 8 for P6, 6 for P8, 4 for P8, 6 for P7, 4 for P8, 2 for P9, and 1 for finishing in 10th position. But if you are in the top 10 and set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, you do get an extra point. And at the moment, that extra point is going to GeForce Pato, who's finding some pace here on these mediums, and he's starting to reel in his teammates. So looks like we shouldn't rule out Pato yet. There's still plenty of time to go, but actually his fastest lap gets replaced by SVR Drax, who's instantly made the move past Rogue Flash, so not been affected clearly by the AlphaTauri, who I thought would have been a bit of hassle, but clearly not. But has Makiek played this right here? Because now he's at the point that if he boxes, he will definitely come out behind SVR Drax, but it's all about whether he has enough life in his tires to come back later on in the race. At the moment, he's keeping a decent pace here, like he's keeping Jamie James with the at like arm's length away, like 1.5 to 2 seconds away. I think it's the moment that Jamie James gets within his DRS that he needs to box for new tires. But at the moment, he's into the pit lane. Makiek is into the pit lane for Mercedes. He's going to box now onto the hard compound tires to go to the end. And let's see where he comes out. I said he'd come out behind Drax, and that is, I think, what we are all expecting here. I don't think the Haas will be able to stay in front. I mean, the Mercedes will be able to stay in front, but actually, to my surprise, SVR Drax has just not had the pace on this new tyre, and despite setting the fastest lap, his lap times have not been quick enough to jump in past Makiek. So Makiek retains his race lead and he, well, the provisional race lead, obviously not race lead at the moment because there's still people in front of him that need to box. But whilst Makiek is warming up his tyres, SVR Drax does have the warmer tyres, so could be looking for the move here on the Merc whilst the Merc is struggling to warm the tyres. So that is the benefit from doing the undercut. Your tyres are heated up to a nice temperature for when your rival comes out of the pit lane when they have stone cold tyres. But we'll have to wait and see how this plays out as Makiet runs wide from turn 16. So it looks like the cold tyres are definitely affecting him right now, and it's going to give ASVR Drax the incentive to go past him here down the straight towards turn 17. Simple DRS move, and ASVR Drax takes P6 in this race ahead of Makiet. Automatics Cry now is into the pit lane for Alpine. So although SVR Drax didn't get the jump on Makiek initially, he has got it now and moves himself up into P5 now because Automatics Cry's into the pit lane, and he could be jumped by his teammate here. He's actually double locked up into turn 1. So Automatic Cry keeps the position, but of course he will have those colder tyres, so maybe under pressure from his teammate, but only if the Alpine decides to, if the Alpines decide to do battle, which I don't think will be too clever, as one of them is currently in the race for a P5 position, and one of them is currently almost a pit stop behind that person. But meanwhile, Makiak doesn't have the pace at the moment. He's fallen 1.1 off SVR Drax, who's now closing into Passion Chester in the Red Bull, who sits in P4 at the moment. Had a relatively quiet race, has Xanderfort pole sitter, but he's been doing quite well for himself, as we have a spin through sector 1, and that is Passion Jack, I believe, who's spun there, and he has ruined those tyres, so may need to come in and box here on from off those hards, which are now 13 laps old. Interestingly, as Adam Mattis car gets overtaken by his team, interestingly, no safety cars yet in this race, which is quite astonishing. But we did see a late safety car in Monza last week out, so I won't be too surprised if we see similar here, especially with the chaos in the last few laps of the sprint race. Would definitely spice things up, that is fair to say, as Adamatic Cry, surely he has to be let past by his teammate. Like, there's really no benefit in Passion Instant fight in this one, from his teammate who's just quicker and on better tyres. But we have a spin through turn 1, and that is Mikel in the Aston Martin. Not his day today, unfortunately things just not going his way at the moment. But at the front, GeForce Patos lost time to his teammate. His teammate extended the gap to 5 seconds. It was about like 3.9 a few laps ago, and GeForce Patos go really long here on these medium tyres. I wonder when he's going to come into the pit lane. Is he, dare I say it, trying a medium to soft strategy, risking everything? I mean, he did risk a lot in the sprint race, so I won't be surprised to see him risk things again here. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes for the McLaren driver. Can he possibly pull off a surprise strategy and put himself up into the top positions of this race? Iro Kendo has just not had as much pace as he did in the actual sprint race, and he's now what, 8.5 seconds off Jamie James. So that mistake, that spin at the sprint race safety car, restart. It's just cost him so much time to Jamie James because he's been fighting in the midfield, and he's just lost him so much time. So he's now really far back from Jamie James, and that'll be a hard gap to close. But meanwhile, SBR Drax is now closing the gap to Pasha Chester, and Makiek, fortunately for him, just doesn't have the pace on the hards that he did on the mediums, and that may be the reason for why he stayed out longer on the mediums. But meanwhile, we have a fight here in the lower midfield between Passion Jack and Passion Ferretto here. A fight for P12 as it looks like Passion Ferretto maybe looking for the move down the inside. Passion Jack is twitching a bit down the straight. I think that may be lag, but either way, Passion Ferretto cannot make the move, so he has to stick behind for now. But Adamax Clive making the move on his teammate in towards turn 1, round the outside of Passion Instant. As they come around turn 2, the Alpines are switch formation, and Adamax Clive is finally released from the clutches of his teammate and left to his own devices, hopefully, to go and attack Rogue Flash, who's currently 7.3 seconds up the road, as Pasha Ferretto is having a battle with Tarberg's AI car and Passion Jack here for P12 and 13, but Tarberg's AI car is now into the pit lane, so an indication that some of the other drivers may be coming in here, as GeForce Pato is still not into the pit lane yet. I wonder how long he's gonna stay out on these medium compound tires. Is he gonna finally box us out? No, he's not. So he's going long. So I think this pretty much confirms that GeForce Pato is gonna try the one stop from the medium to the soft compound tires. He's definitely gone very aggressive this weekend. I mean, even from the sprint race, we knew it was going to be one of those weekends from the McLaren driver. He went for the softs in the sprint race when most people opted for the mediums, but he risked it onto the softs, and he's going aggressive here again, going really long on these mediums. And I believe, if I'm correct, he should be going onto the softs for a one-stop medium soft, but you never know. There's still plenty of time in this race, so time will tell, of course. And of course, with the possibility of a late safety car, that could definitely spice things up. But meanwhile, ASBR Drax, who's like the on-track leader, I guess you could say, after pit stops, is now within DRS range of Pasha Chester, so he will lead once everyone boxes. He's 18.8 seconds behind race leader Jamie James at the moment. But Makiek has fallen off quite a bit from where he was a few laps ago. But SVR Drax now is going to be looking for the move, and in towards turn 17, he's going to get the move done with DRS, with ERS, and ERA Ken is into the pit lane, so triggering an undercut there at Alfa Romeo. Let's see what compound he puts on. He's going for the softs, or is he going for the mediums? It is medium compound tires at Alfa Romeo, so try not to make the same mistake as he did in the sprint race, going for the soft compound tires. So let's see where he comes out. This is going to be tight between him and Rogue Flash, but I think he should have it. And yeah, he's comfortably got the AlphaTauri covered off. But of course, Rogue Flash could come and attack him, as we saw SVR Drax do to Makiek on the when Makiek came into pit lane. But Pasha Chester has fallen down to P9 as he's strapped on a new set of the medium compound tires. So GeForce Pato is definitely going to go to the sauce, surely. Like, I don't see any point of him staying out this long on the mediums just to go onto the hards. Oh, he's nearly binned it into the wall, and look how degraded his tires are. Surely he's going to get a puncture if he tries to stay out any longer. Let's see what his teammate does. Is he going to respond to the undercut? No, he's not. He's going to stay out. So Jamie James stays out here for McLaren. Surely this means his teammate is coming in. G-Force Pato stays out another lap on these mediums. How long is this man going to try and go into the race? This fairly makes him way up into the top 10. But SVR Drax, this is good news for him. He will be closing in on these guys in front and possibly get himself up into P2 before G-Force Pato's pit stop, which is at this rate not going to come. Maybe there's like a threat of rain at the end of the race and he might be staying up for that. I don't know, I highly doubt it, but there's a spin, that is what I know, and that's for Passion Chester. He's actually having a pretty good race up until that point. He spun coming out of turn 18. Luckily for him, there's no cars around him, so he hasn't really lost anything from the spin. He's just lost a bit of time, but he's going to gain a position anyways, because Passion Instant is into the pit lane and onto the soft compound tires, so the softs can make it to the end now, I presume, and surely G-Force Pato has to be. Well, they both have the blue thing. Okay, never mind. Well, I think G-Force Pato has to box. If Jamie James doesn't box, which he's not, so Jamie James is also going onto the softs here, because Eero Ken boxed a few laps earlier. Mikel's lost it, and finally G-Force Pato is into the pit lane here for McLaren, so he's going to go strap on the soft compound tires and try charge down those in front of him towards the end of this race. It's softs, of course, for G-Force Pato. Medium to soft compound tire strategy, very orthodox, very interesting strategy from the McLaren, and not one I myself would have predicted before the lights went out. But here we go. Eero Ken is coming out of turn 1 and turn 2. He has unfortunately not been able to get the jump on G-Force Pato, and G-Force Pato has actually timed that to perfection. He stayed out long enough so that he can make the soft tires work until the end, but not too long that he gets jumped. And I believe he's a net P4. Yeah, so he's currently P4 and he's also a net P4 at the moment. But what he does not want to do is get caught up battling Eero Ken until the end of the race. He wants to stay in front of the Alfa Romeo. It's critical he stays out in front of the Alfa Romeo for his race. It's Eero Ken very late on the bracing towards turn 11, but luckily for G-Force Pato, he stays out in front of the Alfa Romeo. But I'm just looking at the gaps here, and Jamie James is into the pit lane. I think he could jump Makiek, because he was like 6 seconds ahead of. He could possibly be in the race lead after boxing. I don't know. It's going to be tight between him and SVR Drax, because he was literally like 6 seconds ahead of Pato, and the gap between Pato and Drax is like 5 seconds. So Jamie James just turned off the pit limiter, and SVR Drax has taken the race lead so far. But as they come through turn 1 and 2, oh, that got very, very tight. But Jamie James is right there, and he's on the soft compound tires, so surely it's going to be a slam dunk overtake from the McLaren. At some point over the next 7 laps, going to be slam dunk overtake to put him up into P1, and Makiek could be falling off the podium here, because G-Force Pato also has the softs on. So amazing strategy from the McLaren boys so far. Can it work out? We'll have to wait and see. Passion Instant takes the fast lap of the race with 1:37.21. Very nice lap time from him. But Makiek has no ERS. He has a 3-second time penalty, I believe, as well. So that is pretty much. So Makiek definitely will not be finishing on the podium, unless something crazy happens between now and the end of the race. The infamous SMG's AI cars into pit lane. Could there possibly be a safety car, as Jamie James surely he's going to get moved on. Looks like he's just going to stick behind for now, but eventually he will make this easy overtake on the Haas, and the Haas will not be able to do anything. But at the moment, as it stands, SVR Drax leads us away for another lap but in towards turn 1, Jamie James is looking. He's looking for it, but he's just going to stay behind, stay patient at the moment. And GeForce Pato is closing in on Makiak very quickly. But what he's also doing is he's reeling Eero Ken along with him, and this is allowing the Alfa Romeo to save ERS and possibly save tyres for a last lap attack at the soft tyre runner of GeForce Pato. So this is a very dangerous game Pato is playing here, but he needs to try and get as close to Makiak as possible to benefit from his 3-second time penalties. Now, lapped cars are going to get in the way of this battle for P1 here. Passion Jack and Tarberg going at it in towards turn 11. Surely Jamie James down the inside of SPR Drax in towards turn 11. Too late on the brakes. Drax comes back at him and gets the switchback done through turn 12. And Drax maintains his race lead for now. For now, he maintains the race lead, and the lapped car, Passion Jack, will be putting these guys' lines off and slightly distracting them here through turn 14, 15, 16. But surely now, Jamie James is going to have the overtake. SVR Drax does not have DRS this time. He did down the straight to turn 11, but no DRS, and it's Jamie James who once again leads the Miami Grand Prix. But SVR Drax is putting up a fight here in P2 for Haas, but unfortunately he could not do anything to challenge the McLaren and better tyres with better pace, and he has taken the race lead. Jamie James, with 5 laps to go, leads the Miami Grand Prix, but meanwhile the battle is still commencing for P3, the podium battle, because GeForce Pato is nearly within the DRS range now of Makiak in P3, sorry. And Rogue Flash, I just realised, did an amazingly long stint on those on those hards, went 23 laps on those hards, and is now only just boxed for softs. So he could be having a look at Passion Chester towards the end of this race, because Passion Chester has just come out in front of him. Unfortunately for Rogue Flash, has just come out in front of him at the safety car restart. But Tarberg and Passion Jack are fighting once again. I believe they're both AI cars. So no, Passion Jack's not AI, but Tarberg is. So nice deal for them, I guess. But SVR Drax doesn't have anything to fight with. Already 2 seconds off the McLaren, and he's unfortunately lost that position for good, unless Jamie James spins. But GeForce Pato will not be thinking about his spin in the sprint race, but he'll be instead spinning out Makiak. The Makiak, who's done so well this race, has unfortunately been spun out right at the death of it, and he's now down to P5. Contact with GeForce Pato has actually been overtaken by Eero Ken himself. So Pato and Ken exchange positions, and Makiak is the big loser out of all this. He's fallen to P5 after such a good stint on the mediums. He'll be absolutely gutted with how the ending of this race is played out, and GeForce Pato could be receiving a post-race penalty, but he'll have that in the back of his mind right now, as all he's going to be trying to do is look for the mirrors. Passion Chester's spun out of turn 17 and then come into the pit lane immediately and sped in the pit lane, but soft tyres going on for the Red Bull driver, who also has to replace his front wing, so front wing damage, so he's going to lose position. It's Ferry, but meanwhile the order in the top 3 has been changed, because GeForce Pato has just made a move past Eero Ken and moved himself up into P3 ahead of the Alfa Romeo, the man who scored podiums in every race this season. He'll be desperate to keep that streak alive here, but GeForce Pato is going to make this very difficult for him as they come to the closing laps of this Miami Grand Prix. Let's see if Alfa Romeo can do anything, as Passion Jack has had a moment out of the final corner, but Eero Ken, he does have greater ERS. Like GeForce Pato has no ERS and will not be able to attack will not be able to defend from Euro Ken, who actually has about 30%. So good ERS level for the Finnish driver. He's going to have to use that to his advantage as we come to the closing laps of this race. Not much really going on anywhere else in the field. Jamie James is dominating at the moment. Passion Instinct in again for another set of soft compound tyres. Let me just look at the fast lap. Of course, Jamie James has it. This guy is about to get the most ridiculous Grand Slam ever. Pole position. Actually, did he take pole? No, he didn't. So he's actually not going to get a Grand Slam, which is quite unfortunate. Because G-Force Pato took, well, pole position in the qualifying session, but then in the actual like sprint race, which decided the grid order, Jamie James won that, and he's going to win this race and take the faster lap as well. So I guess you could say it's a McLaren Grand Slam, as they basically won everything in this race weekend thing. But personally for Jamie James, he's not taken the Grand Slam, which I'm sure he'll be quite disappointed with. He wasn't that far off in qualifying. He was better to him off his teammate. He was like 800 off his teammate in the corner, so not too bad to be honest, but still will not be too happy with that one. But anyways, the battle for P3 is heating up here. The battle for the podium is starting to get tasty as we head towards the last few laps of this Miami Grand Prix. It's been an absolute pleasure once again to commentate on this amazing race in action. But can G-Force Pato do anything to defend the Flying Finn, the man who's taken the podium in every race so far, the man in form? Can he stop him? Can he stop his podium streak in PlayStation Euro Series, or will he just succumb to the powers of the Alfa Romeo? We'll have to wait and see as we now go towards the last few laps of this race in towards turn 17. Heavy braking from both drivers, but Eero Kennedy cannot make any of the work as we now head onto the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. 6 seconds is the gap between Jamie James and ASBR Drax. He currently sits in P2. But meanwhile, we have a spin. Drax has spun. And the Haas driver's hard work, all of his hard work to be in this position. He just had to hold out for 2 more laps, and Drax has spun here, and he's bottled a podium right at the death. Once again, Drax cannot secure a podium, and now this fight for P2, sorry, this fight for P3, this fight for P2 is now, so the fight for P3 is now a fight for P2, because Drax has spun and promoted these guys up onto the podium. So as it stands, Eero Ken's streak of podiums will be continuing if he does not spin himself, as Jamie James is going very slow down the straight here. As we have a spin at the final call, that's Mikel spinning, but Eero Ken, it's now or never, mate. He has got to start to pick up the pace, throw everything at it, throw the kitchen sink at G-Force Pato, see if he can win. Mikel retiring in the pit lane. No points for Aston Martin once again, as both drivers DNF for the second week in succession. But at the moment, the battle we're all looking at is G-Force Pato versus Eero Ken. G-Force Pato's his tyres are starting to go off. You can see the wiggle through turn 3. Eero Ken is going to be all over the back of the McLaren here, coming down the first straight. Jamie James is going to try drop back and give his teammate DRS here to try and preserve his P2 position here. and Eero Ken will not be loving this at the moment. But the thing is, he has more ERS, he has the overspeed on the McLaren, and surely he's going to take the move anyways. He's going to move himself up into P2 around the outside. Eero Ken, can he make the move work? Barely keeping it within track limits. This is great races. Then ahead through turn 13 in towards turn 14 and 15. Pato tried to keep his foot in the pedal, and oh, Eero Ken has been spun round at turn 14, and now this could give Drax the podium if Eero Ken cannot get moving again. But he can. The two McLarens have a 1-2 at the moment, but that is subject to change, as I'm sure there will be some post-race penalties applied here. Can SVR Drax possibly get back his podium after spinning? I don't think he'll have enough, but the man who's had enough all weekend long, Jamie James, 16, is going to win in Miami. Dominant performance by him. In P2 will be GeForce Pato. The McLarens end the weekend how they started it, in the 1-2 formation. Eero Ken actually moves up into P2, I believe. The game has glitched. GeForce Pato's final position. Drax finishes in P4, Makiek in P5, Adamatis Kai will finish P6 for Alpine, and it's Rogue Flash who finishes in P7. P8 will belong to Passion Instant, who's had a good race so far. Let's see about the penalties. Sorry, the fastest lap, and that is going to Jamie James as well. As Passion Instant has a bit of a slide through turn 17 and out of turn 18 as well. He's going to come to line and finish in P8 today. Passion Chester will fight for P9 to the line with Ferry, who will get the position. It will be Ferry because Passion Chester has a 5-second time penalty anyway, but still a good battle for those two towards the line. Passion Jack Tarberg and Tom Pilar have already finished, as they have all been lapped in this race. Passion Bretto will be the first of the non-point scorers in P11, and Infamous SMG, his car was AI, so the race just ended after Passion Bretto made it to line. But Eero Ken with driver of the day, I'm sure he will be not too pleased with how the safety car ended, but there is still plenty of race weeks ahead, and still plenty of time to see how still plenty of time for this championship to play out. But it is Jamie James, definitely no denying it, the man who had all the pace today. He wins here in Miami, and he takes victory for the first time this season. I believe he's a reserve driver, so doing very well there in the McLaren to secure points. But Eero Ken will be pleased with how actually I've lied, Jamie James is the full-time driver, and actually FVR Marley was a reserve. So Jamie James is the one, he's the main driver in the championship, so he'll be hoping to start his championships ambitions. But anyways, going through the race results, we have Jamie James, Eero Ken, SVR Drax, GeForce Pato, Makiek, Adam Matskai, Rogue Flash, Passion Instant, Ferry, and Passion Chester in the points. And overall weekend results, Jamie James obviously taking all the points, maximum points. SVR Drax in P2, Eero Ken P3, Makiek P4, P5 Adam Matskai, GeForce Pato in 6, Passion Instant 7, Rogue Flash, Passion Chester, and Ferry round out the top 10, and they were the only people who scored points across both races, as everyone else did not score any points. But anyways, we are going towards the post-race interviews, so just hang with me for a second. Alright, so I will now proceed with the post-race interviews, and I will start off with Jamie James 16, who took the race victory here today.
Hello.
First of all, congratulations on your win. Must feel nice to win in, I believe, your first race this season. Will you be hoping for more of the same going forwards?
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, first race. Unfortunately, missed a few due to other reasons, but no, good. I like Miami as a track, so I was confident coming into it, and me and Alex, Pato, had a discussion about strategy. But yeah, going forward, hopefully could carry this on. And unfortunate for Alex, nearly got a 1-2, but I'm sure there'll be more opportunities to do that as well.
Yeah. Well, you clearly had the pace today, and you were helped out by your strategy. I'm just gonna ask if uh, G-Force Pato's strategy was planned out, or was that just on the go?
Um, it was no, it was planned out. We decided in the sprint race which strategies we're going to go for. He always said he'd start on the mediums. I didn't realise how long they'd actually go, so I didn't think he'd be able to make it to the softs, but he did. Um, so no, it was planned. The other thing that wasn't planned was mine. I was supposed to start on the softs and go to the hards, but I completely forgot to change it. So yeah,
Mm.
that's the only downside.
And obviously, taking a massive 34 points here in your first race, but unfortunately, due to you missing the first three races, you're already at a quite large deficit in the Drivers' Championship. Do you think you'll be able to claw that back over the course of the season?
I'll answer that politically and say time will tell. I've got no idea. Well, good racing with Drax, by the way. I enjoyed that. I don't know
Yeah,
what wi-
GG's.
I don't know what wings you were running, pal, but the straight line speed was incredible.
Yeah, quite low. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it.
All right. Congratulations on your race win,
Thank you,
mate.
mate. Thank you.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
Now moving on to the man who finished in P2, Euro Ken.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome, mate. Congratulations on your fourth podium of the season. It must be nice to keep that podium streak going. Do you think you'll be, dare I say, do you think you'll be able to maintain it for the whole season?
Uh, question. I don't want to say yes because then I jinx myself and then I don't get any more podiums. But yeah, if I keep this pace up, and I think it is possible. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Uh, so obviously in the sprint race, things were on the up, and until the safety car restart, um, where you lost it, how did you regain your composure after a mistake so big?
yeah, it wasn't too ideal safety car restart because mm, the safety car was scored in the like halfway in the backstretch, so yeah, it wasn't too ideal. But yeah, I tried to get some rear tire temperatures up and get a good start. Then yeah, just too eager to accelerate in the last couple of corners and then lost many places. But yeah, but then I thought that just try to cover as many positions as I can, and I got few, and I think I started P8. So yeah, it was good, but P1 was there. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously you did well to recover from that mistake in the main race, but would have been frustrated not to pick up points. And my last question for you is, do you think, in hindsight, after seeing McLaren's strategy, that you should have tried a hard to soft um, hard to soft strategy yourself?
Uh, yeah, I actually was a little bit surprised because both McLarens were pretty long, but yeah, I didn't have any soft tires left. They all were used, so I didn't really think about that. And yeah, and mediums were pretty good, and I don't think maybe Bottas tires were really dead at the end. So yeah, maybe in the future I might try that strategy in Miami, but yeah, I was still quite good for P2.
Yeah, definitely. All right, congratulations, mate, on your fourth podium of the season, keeping that podium streak alive, and best of luck for the future races.
Yeah, thank you.
GG's, kid.
Yeah,
And
GG's, James.
now we'll
Thanks, man.
move on to ASBR Drax, who took the final podium position in today's race.
Yeah, yeah, thanks.
Um, Welcome, mate. Congratulations on the podium tonight. Um, you must be really happy with getting the podium um, after missing it quite a few times in the last few rounds due to unfortunate events.
Yeah, the first two races I didn't attend because of personal reasons, but last week's race didn't quite go well for me, so um, wasn't be able to hang with the boys in front. But today's race, I'm so gutted, man. I spun on the second last lap in a main race, and it could have been a P2 finish, but yeah, a little mistake on my side ruined it quite a bit. But yeah, podium is always nice, and I
Yeah,
will keep
definitely.
it up. Yeah, we'll keep it up for the remainder of the season. I hope so.
Yeah, definitely. And on the subject of that spin, what was it that caused the main problem? Was it the tire wear or just the curbs?
Neither of both. It was upshift problem, which let my backhand slid a bit more than predicted. Um, yeah, just my backhand overtook my front, and yeah, it quite.
Yeah, and obviously with you um, missing the first two races, that also gives you a large deficit in drivers' championship. So do you think you can possibly still try and aim for that, or do you think you'll be looking for like a top 3 or top 5 finish in the drivers' championship?
I think it will be hard to get the world championship, but I will try my best because I'm always a competitive person, and we have a mighty competitive grid in the Euro Series this season, which I appreciate a lot. You can obviously learn from every driver, and yeah, just keeping those mistakes aside uh, will be a key factor for gaining a few points on the leaders.
Yeah, of course, mate. Congratulations on your podium, and hopefully there's more of this to come in the future rounds.
Oh, thanks, mate, and thank you for commentating as well.
Of course. Um, Unfortunately, that is the end of the stream. So, congratulations to our podium sitters, and hopefully we shall see them all next week, along with the other 17 drivers at Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix, which is definitely going to be an interesting race. But for now,
Boring
Painful
race.
race.
Boring race.
Painful. It will be pain for me.
sorry,
I'm not
sorry,
bad,
sorry.
so
definitely.
Miami is quite trash as well, and Spain is a lot worse.
Well, good to see our drivers are already looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
But for now, I've been EVG F1 Lover commentating, and I will catch you guys all next week for the Spanish Grand Prix. Thank you and goodbye.